Dr. Fauci can finally speak free.
I'm a scientist, a physician, and a public health official.
Trump throws a temper tantrum.
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Biden stars in a touching video. And Michael Moore says fuck research. All this and more today in Old News. The coronavirus, scourge of the nation, an enemy in the trenches. Donald Trump, confused man-child and impeached president of these United States, is unable to handle the pressure.
What a weak man.
His underdeveloped mind is unable to handle the severity of the pandemic. So, the scared little baby brain protects itself by blocking out the problem.
I think we've controlled it very well. I think we're really doing a very good job in watching it, and I think it's very well contained, actually.
Nope.
If somebody wants to be tested right now, they'll be able to be tested.
Not at all.
I call it transition to greatness. It's going to be transition to greatness.
But reality tells a different story. The virus is spreading in the heartland. States are reopening with cases still on the rise. White House staff are finally wearing masks. Even spoiled son-in-law and real-life American psycho Jared Kushner finally donned the face covering after 2 staff members tested positive for the deadly virus, causing all the smartest people in Washington to self-isolate. There were no medical professionals on the White House lawn yesterday morning. The medical commissioners, including Dr. Fauci and the director of the Center for Disease Control, are in self-quarantine after hobnobbing with the infected staff. But the delusional commander-in-chief is so confident in the state of the country, he didn't even feel the need to cover his mouth. While talking to the World War II veterans he addressed in memory of the victory in Europe.
Mr. President, you were with 7 American heroes earlier today, these World War II veterans, all in their 90s. Did you consider wearing a mask when you were with them, given their...
No, because I was very far away. I appreciate the question.
That's right. Disgraced president and in-color version of the Michael Myers mask, Donald Trump, decided not to wear a face covering around elderly soldiers, immediately after being around 2 people who tested positive for the coronavirus.
The wind was blowing so hard in such a direction that if the plague ever reached them, I'd be very surprised. It could have reached me too. You didn't worry about me, you only worried about them.
What a piece of shit.
They've lived a great life.
And then there was the morning briefing in the Rose Garden.
Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives?
Maybe that's a question you should ask China. So yes, behind you, please.
What, sir, why are you saying that to me specifically? That's China.
I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like that.
not a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why is it?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have 2 questions.
No, it's okay.
But
We'll
you
go
pointed
here.
to me. I have 2 questions, Mr.
Next,
President.
please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the
wanted
young
to,
lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague
Okay.
finish. But can I ask you
Ladies
a
and
question?
gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
He seems to be breaking under the pressure, probably because he shouldn't be president. While Trump is being widely criticized for encouraging states to reopen too early,
They seem to be very responsible people to me.
Russian President and board stock photo model Vladimir Putin thinks it's a great idea, as he too eases lockdowns while cases continue to rise.
Starting from tomorrow, May 12th, the national period of non-working days will be over in all the country and for all sectors of the economy.
This these quarantine lifting measures come in at a very strange time where a number of cases in Russia keep rising.
Brazil's Presidente Bolsonaro, also known as Trump of the Tropics, has continually downplayed the severity of the pandemic and has also already lifted what little restrictions they had. Trump, Putin, and Bolsonaro have very similar plans of action. Of course, we all know the 3 leaders have been very close since their string of feel-good movies in the 90s. We all remember 3 Amigos, 3 to Tango, and of course, 3 men and a dead baby. Speaking of dead babies, Senator Rand Paul thinks those are just swell, as he made known to Dr. Anthony Fauci, who testified before Congress today on the bang-up job Donald Trump is doing for Joe Biden's campaign.
Shouldn't we at least be discussing what the mortality of children is? As much as I respect you, Dr. Fauci, I don't think you're the end all. I don't think you're the one person that gets to make a decision. I think we ought to look at letting our kids get back to school. I think it's a huge mistake if we don't open the schools in the fall.
First of all, Senator Paul, I have never made myself out to be the end-all and only voice in this. And we don't know everything about this virus, and we really better be very careful, particularly when it comes to children. For example, right now, children presenting with COVID-19 who actually have a very strange inflammatory syndrome. I think we better be careful in thinking that children are completely immune to the deleterious effects.
But the question on everyone's mind, do we have the virus contained? And if not, should we be reopening the country?
You have warned of needless suffering and death if we push to reopen too soon. But the president has actually been sending the opposite message. Tell us what the consequences are.
The consequences could be really serious. My concern is that we will start to see little spikes that might turn into outbreaks. So therefore, I have been very clear in my message to go by the guidelines, which have been very well thought out and very well delineated. There is no doubt when you pull back on mitigation, you will see some cases appear. So it's not only doing it at the appropriate time with the appropriate constraints, but having in place the capability of responding when the inevitable return of infections occur.
Dr. Fauci is confident in efforts to develop a vaccine, but he has not so high hopes for avoiding a second wave.
The idea of having treatments available or a vaccine would be something that would be a bit of a bridge too far. The drug that has shown some degree of efficacy was modest. What they really want is to know if they are safe.
Yes, the race to a cure is on everyone's mind, but relief may be coming from an unusual place: llamas. Llamas produce two types of antibodies that could be vital in fighting the coronavirus and could protect the elderly.
We have had rather silly people, in my opinion, who phoned up and asked can they come and take blood from the llama to drink it. But no, we're not going to let people drink their blood.
I guess it's better than drinking bleach. Could this be the reason for the sudden popularity of these strange camel goats? And more importantly, will these woolly heroes be able to save us before it's too late?
And in non-coronavirus news, presidential hopeful Joe Biden looks like America's creepy uncle when a film reemerges where he appears to be practicing for a role as a children's shampoo judge, leaving Democrats asking, seriously? This is our only guy. Seriously. Drink it in there, Joe. That's the smell of disturbing character flaws. Also, filmmaker and Rascal Scooter spokesman Michael Moore forgets to do research before releasing a cinematic turd that critics are calling worse than usual, as his hopeless right-leaning documentary about the dangers of green energy is discovered to be based on decades-old debunked information. So don't throw out those solar panels. He's just a fucking idiot. And finally, this Jeff Goldblum lookalike is trending after kicking the holy shit out of a shirtless bro. Good job, guy who kind of looks like Jeff Goldblum. He's not the hero we deserve. He's the hero we need.
As you know, television goes off the air this time every night. Join us again tomorrow morning for Howdy Doody.